Hey, you guys remember all of those Pikachu Van Gogh promos that we talked about on Friday that are getting restocked and distributed to stores in the Netherlands? Well, it hasn't taken very long for a bunch of these stores to already start cashing in on pre-sales 6 weeks before they actually get the cards. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. You're watching the channel Dr. Applesauce 2. My name's Will. It's another beautiful day here in Texas. I hope you guys know that I love you, God loves you, and that there is an awesome plan for your life. On Friday, we talked about the official announcement and more information coming out about what is potentially the last wave of the Pikachu Van Gogh promos that are going to be distributed to local game stores and game stores in the Netherlands. And the reason this is because the Pokemon Museum collaboration with the Van Gogh Museum had to get shut down early for a whole bunch of crap. You can go check that video out. Anyways, they're giving stores in the Netherlands the remainder of these cards, and stores should be getting 100 cards, and they're supposed to give away one of these Pikachu Van Gogh promos to every customer that spends 30 euros or buys 30 euros worth of product in their store. But what we're going to talk about today, and huge shout out to PokeBeach for putting this article together and doing a little bit of the legwork to discover what's happening, is we're going to be talking about the fact that some of these stores in the Netherlands, probably a large amount of them, are already selling these Pikachu Van Gogh promos for upwards of $100 plus each, and they're not even predicted to get these cards for another month to 6 weeks. Yes, you heard me correctly. These stores in the Netherlands are pre-selling their allocation of 100 Pikachu Van Gogh promos ahead of time and cashing in. I honestly think this promo card is just doomed to have continually botched and horrible drops. Again, huge shout out to PokeBeach for putting together this article and gathering a bunch of evidence that's showing a bunch of local game stores in the Netherlands are already pre-selling these Pikachu Van Gogh promos under the table. And again, a refresher, the Pokemon Company is planning on giving 100 copies each to stores in the Netherlands, and they're supposed to give these cards for free to people who come in their store and buy 30 euros worth of stuff. There's even a store owner in the Netherlands, Ves Brunen, who owns Flash Cards. He even went on record to PokeBeach to say, "I'm seeing many stores selling the cards in large volumes. Scalping is at high levels. This promotion is going to be a big problem." And we have to remember, guys, they're not even predicted to get these cards for another 4 to 6 weeks. There's even a really popular WhatsApp group, and I'll put some of the screenshots on here, and they're obviously, I think they're in Dutch, and you can translate those if you want to, but in this WhatsApp group, it's a bunch of store owners and a bunch of people talking about this drop in these promotions, and there's people bragging that they paid 3,000 euros and they're getting all 100 copies, and other store owners bragging and saying some of the copies are going to go to their loyal customers and they're going to grade a whole bunch of other copies. I don't know about you, but like, if a store is getting promotions from Pokemon, I don't think they should be keeping them to grade them. This would be the equivalent of if you were going to pre-release tournaments, or if you were going to challenges or cups or whatever for Pokemon Play, and the store keeping the staff promos and sending them off to grade them. That is the equivalent of this. That is how egregious this is. We talked about Card Market on Friday, which is essentially the European equivalent of TCG Player. And if you go on Card Market right now, you can actually see that the prices have dipped. We showed you that on Friday on the Pikachu Van Gogh promo. But you can also see there's a lot of stores in the Netherlands that are selling Pikachu Van Gogh promos for 100 euros or more with an ETA ship date of 4 to 6 weeks. That basically means they're selling pre-orders of free product that they don't have yet, that they're supposed to give away, and they're pre-selling them on Card Market. Another really kind of, I want to say alarming quote, but honestly, you read and you gotta kind of think, okay, you know, what did we expect? But Bruyen, the owner of Flashcards, said that he talked to Asmodee, who is the distributor for Pokemon cards in their area. And he said, I quote, "This week I asked Asmodee, the distributor for Pokemon in the Netherlands, how they're going to enforce this promotion. They told me it's not their problem. They said they can't check if their clients are playing fair." What this tells me is they're basically like, we have to do this. We got to disseminate these cards. We don't really care. And what you're going to get is stores that are basically being given $10,000 worth of product that people want for free. What do we expect these stores to do? I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying that it's the right thing that they should have done, but what do Pokemon expect? A lot of local game stores are struggling, and I'm not justifying it. I'm trying to just say, okay, like, what did we expect to happen? Basically, they're saying, here's $10,000, give it away. Not a lot of people are going to do that. Speaking of hyped new releases, Paldean Fates is coming out in about 10 days. I will have a bunch of Paldean Fates available specifically for my patrons. We'll be doing some cool drops or offering things for really, really good prices, and then we'll do like a generic drop for all of the patrons, offering things well below MSRP to, you know, allow people to get stuff for a good price from a source that they can trust. So if you want to be able to get access to those patron exclusive drops, I'm building my Patreon. Join my Patreon via the link in the description below. We'll be doing drops for every set moving forward. It's going to be really, really cool and a great way for you to get product from somebody you trust, and it helps support the channel and support me a lot and gets cards out there to you guys for great prices. So check out the Patreon down in the description below. You can also see in the Netherlands, there's a lot of stores that are promoting on their social media pages this promotion. So it's already out there in the public. People know that this is happening, but there's also a lot of stores that obviously are keeping quiet and aren't saying anything about it. And obviously, we can understand why that's happening. I mentioned in the last video that I would assume that there's a lot of people in a lot of stores that are just gonna be quiet and not say anything, or even say, we never got the cards, we never got the cards, we never got the cards. But you could go on Card Market or other websites and auction websites and see that they've listed those cards for sale. It's really unknown how many stores are going to actually get these cards. I went and I tried to look up some information, and I found that maybe about 30 to 40 stores in the Netherlands are considered hobby shops. And so I speculated maybe there's 30 to 40 stores, so maybe 3,000 to 4,000 copies. And some people in my comments that are from the Netherlands said, hey, it's also rumored that there's a big chain store called Media Market, and it's rumored that they're supposed to get these promos too. And if the chain store like Media Market gets the promos, that means there's going to be a lot of stores getting the promos. So that's really up for speculation. So judging by the amount of stores that the distributor for Pokemon for the Netherlands has contacted, some sources estimate it could be around 100 to 200 local gaming stores. If larger chains like Media Market, Intertoys, and Top One Toys also offer the promotion, this could add a further 350 stores, and larger chains would be expected to follow the rules of the promotion, which could alleviate some of the scalping from smaller stores. This is a really interesting detail because we're not certain who all is going to be getting these cards and how many stores are. According to that information, the distributor for Pokemon in the Netherlands has contacted around 100 to 200 stores. So even that in and of itself means 10,000 to 20,000 copies, which is a pretty substantial number. You know, it's a lot more than the supposed 3,000 copies that people have been throwing around and thinking about. 20,000 copies is not a small number, but the rumor, and if some of these larger chains get these copies as well, it would be like, you know, GameStops and Best Buys and stuff like that are more often than not going to abide by the rules, which means people are going to be able to get them for the way that they're supposed to, you know, either free or very, very affordably, more often than not. If these larger chain stores actually get the Pikachu Van Gogh promos, then that could alleviate some of the craziness that's going to happen with some of the smaller stores getting it. But what you're seeing here is potentially anywhere from 10,000 to 50,000 copies being injected into the market. And we don't really know how many copies there are. We saw that PSA has graded about 20,000 copies, which is a massive amount. So how many have been actually produced? 100,000? 50,000 beforehand? Who really knows? But I know a ton of people were sending this card off to PSA for grading. So we saw that PSA has graded about 20,000 of them. So if indeed 50,000 are injected into the market, I believe that that is a massive amount of cards compared to how many have already been made. We really have no idea, but let's just say PSA has graded 20,000. Let's say Beckett's graded another 10,000 and CGC's graded another 5,000. Who knows? Let's say 30,000, 40,000 have been graded. Okay, well, let's say that there's been 100, we're speculating, right? Let's say 100,000 copies of Van Gogh Pikachu were made, and there's another 10,000 injected into the market. That's 10%. That's enough to create a market swing one way or the other. Let's say 50,000 are injected into the market. That is huge. So this little bit of information by PokeBeach, again, huge shout out to PokeBeach for doing this legwork, really could change things depending on how this release goes. And unfortunately, it looks like the release probably isn't going to go well. it's probably not going to be a way for many people to really get this card affordably, as I would assume the vast majority of the local game stores that are going to get this card, as we're seeing, are either going to ignore the fact that they're getting it, not announce it, and then sell it under the table and cash in on the 10,000 free dollars that Pokemon's giving them. Now, that's all speculation. There's really no proof yet as to what the numbers could be, but I'm sure we'll find that out in the coming, next 4 to 6 weeks. You can also go look at the trending data on Card Market since this official announcement, came out a few days ago, as opposed to now for the sales data on the Pikachu Van Gogh promo. And the card has dropped about $20 or $30 in value on Card Market. We haven't seen that on TCG Player yet because this is all happening in Europe, but $20 to $30. So it's dropped about 25% in value on Card Market. For everybody that's in the comments saying it's not going to drop, 25% is a massive swing. 25% is a huge deal, and the cards aren't even released yet. So I don't know what this means. I don't know if this means the prices are going to go down, the prices are going to go up. There's still too many variables. It really depends if only LGSs get them or if some of the larger chain stores get them. If 10,000 get introduced into the market or 50,000 get introduced to the market. Because even if 50,000 copies get introduced into the market and they all go to stores that want to immediately scalp and flip them and just screw everybody else, we're going to put these onto Card Market and sell them. 50,000 units of something being injected into the market is 100% going to cause a race for the bottom where people just start lowering the prices to be able to sell it off as fast as possible. Even 10,000 units could cause that to happen. So this is a really interesting and unfortunate situation that things are going down like this. How many of this card were actually made? Are we getting 10,000 more? Are we getting 50,000 more? How many have been already made in the past? 100,000? 150,000? What is it? But it really seems like the Pikachu Van Gogh promo is cursed and destined to be a card that is always going to have a bad release, that is never going to be something that's super easy for people to get, which is really unfortunate because it's Pikachu and it's a very unique and interesting card. This is stuff this is very relevant. This could change things. It might not, but depending on what happens, depending on how many are made, depending on how many are reintroduced into the market, it could drastically cause the market to swing one way or the other. Could cause this card to go up to 200. If 50,000 are dropped into the market and everybody's racing to the bottom to sell them off as fast as possible rather than giving them to their customers, it could cause the market to swing down and make the value of this card go down to $70, $75. Anything is possible at this point. So I'll be watching it closely and I'll be bringing it to you to report on it and talk about it because I think it's interesting. And this seems like the most cursed promo release that I can remember in the past 10 years. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below about this whole situation. If you enjoyed the content, do me a favor, guys. Give the video a thumbs up. It's actually free for you to do that. It helps a whole lot. And if you want to stay up to date, hit that subscription button and the notification bell. And if you like this one, I'm sure you'll like that one too. And like I always say, my friends, find somebody to love and serve today and be the change you want to see in the world. See you next time.